Welcome back. Are you thinking about selling your home? Well, if you are and you want to get the most bang for your buck, there are some things you can do to help attract more buyers. Our next guest is here to give us some tips. Please help me welcome back Brittany Picolo-Ramos of Godwyn and Stone Real Estate. Good morning, Brittany.
Good morning, Malik. How are you?
Oh, so good. Now that you are on, I like the way you said that. So great. Thank you so much for coming back on the show to talk about something that a lot of people want to know, especially if they are trying to sell their home. I'm curious, what are some of the must haves that people need to have to make sure that their home is the most attractive house on the market?
Well, right now, obviously, you want to reach as many buyers as possible. So you want a neutral color palette. That's always really important because sometimes when you have a green room and a red room and an orange room, it can actually chop up the floor plan and make the house look smaller. Or if it's an outdated color that's not really pulling buyers' interest right now, it could turn people off. And you think like, why wouldn't somebody think, oh, I could just paint that? People don't think like that, unfortunately. Also, if you have popcorn ceilings, taking that down, and then amenities that pre-COVID obviously weren't a big deal, but now home offices are huge. So you want to have a nice home office and a great outdoor space too. I'd like to add that.
So important. Now, one of your tips right here, I love that, having eye-catching curb appeal. How do we accomplish that? Do we just have to mow the grass and make sure all our plants look good? How do we accomplish that?
Well, obviously, if your garden is not maintained, it may put a feeling of this house needs work. You could just be like, your garden just needs to be weeded. But that can make somebody feel like, oh, well, maybe there's some other things going on with this house. And your first impression is the most important impression.
So true. And for neutral colors, do you suggest your whites, your grays? What do you suggest as far as like that neutral color palette?
Obviously, white, grays, taupe, warmer colors are coming back right now. We're right in this kind of turn in the market to where we're seeing a little bit more color, mainly in furniture and different art pieces. And maybe if you wanted to do some color in a half bath, that would be completely fine. But as the whole, you want to go with more white, gray, taupe if you want a little bit warmer. But something that will appeal to mass interest.
And like people say all the time, sometimes you have to spend money to make money. There are some home features people should upgrade or replace. You mentioned one already with the popcorn ceilings. What are some other things that people replace before they sell?
Well, like listed here, popcorn ceilings, carpet usually is down. Like people don't really love carpet because it can hold dander and different allergens, so it turns people off, and it's just another thing that they might not like, and it gives them bad feelings, and they don't know why, but it's just because they just already have a dislike for it. And then wood paneling. If you have wood paneling, you don't necessarily have to replace it, but sometimes it's nice to paint it so that it's nice and neutral. And it just kind of tones everything down because wood paneling can look really red, really hot, and red means stop. So we want them to go. So.
I was looking up at my ceiling and I'm like, do I have popcorn ceilings? I don't. So there's a win right there. But for a lot of people, when you're looking at homes, photography is so important. Do you have any tips on how we can photograph our home or just the importance of getting good photography done when photographing your home?
Well, I always say, agents get on average nationwide 9 to 12% more for houses than individuals. But if you're gonna do something, or if you have an agent, just make sure they're getting professional photography because you don't get a second chance at a first impression. And I don't care how good you are at photography. Professional photographers are able to do things with the lighting that makes such a huge difference and really make sure your home is showcased the best it possibly can be.
And at the end of the day, it's always good to ask for help or get help if you can. Real estate agents really can be a major player when trying to get a home on the market and selling it. How do real estate agents rather help us out when we're trying to sell a home, especially you all?
Well, the thing is, we're going to have a much larger reach. 90, I think it was like 95% of serious buyers are working with a real estate agent. So if they're a buyer, they're really motivated. Almost all of those buyers, particularly, are working with an agent. And you don't want to be negotiating against somebody that is a professional that knows what they're doing, and not have any strength on that side. So I always say, if you're using a real estate agent, you will never pay a good real estate agent. You will never pay a commission because they will always make you more, because it's not only getting an offer. For a lot of our properties right now, we're getting offers, backup contracts, multiple offers. They're bidding up the price. I mean, I just had a seller tell me what they wanted, and I was like, hey, what about $25,000 more? And they said yes, and we got it. So, you want a professional that is going to represent your best interest, because this is one of the biggest decisions of your life. And not only is it just getting it under contract, but it's keeping it together, because you're going to have inspections, you're going to have an appraiser. I can't tell you how many times I fought with appraisers to make sure my clients were taken care of. But it's things like that that really, really matter.
And before we go, I just want to ask you, do you work with specific type of homes, or you work with any type of home that people are looking to sell?
Baby, you got a house, I can sell it.
Hello, and we will leave it there. There you go. Brittany Picolo-Ramos, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me, my sister. And hey, if you got a house that you need to sell, contact Godwyn and Stone Real Estate. You can log on to BrittanyPicolo-Ramos.com or give her a call at 504-500-SOLD. That's 504-500-7653. Also, they are open. Visit her location at 1912 Clearview Parkway in Metairie.